Greetings, YouTube. Coming at you from Cleveland, Ohio suburbs. I'm here to share a wonderful recipe with you for pork shoulder rub. And I just want to show you a few of my ingredients if possible here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Now I prefer to use mine in a mason jar for my baste, because I'm doing my baste first. But I prefer to use mine in a mason jar. You got a nice tight lid, you keep the flies off and so forth. So for me, that's the best way, because we all know how them flies like to buzz around, you know, and you're slapping them away. All right. So for starters, now I added 2 cups of apple juice to my baste. This is just about a 10-pound pork butt here. Now I'd like to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Just do that. Okay, perfect. I do like to add a little apple cider vinegar, just a couple splashes. I prefer the Bragg's, it's very good. Okay. And I do prefer Himalayan pink salt, very flavorful. I'll just kind of, you know, I can add a little more, a little less. It's kind of preference. Another couple ingredients I do like to add. I like to add a touch of Worcestershire. Yeah, that's good. Just kind of on preference. A little bit of this, a couple tablespoons, a couple teaspoons. And my little secret ingredients that I like, it kind of draws some of the flavors out if you ask me. I love me a little fish sauce. This makes for a hell of a baste. You know, you don't need a ton of that, but just enough. It should pretty much be it as far as the baste. I just screw my lid on. Give her a little shakeroo. Nothing like an old mason jar. Man, these things are great. Okay, so that's done. Now, I don't know if I can angle this camera any better, but let's try to see what we can do here. I don't know how, but let's see. I'm just working on, I don't know if you can, yeah, I guess you can see, huh? All right. Looking good. Trying to make this a quick, kind of short video. All right, cool. Now, I don't do much with this. I myself usually keep it fairly simple. Actually, pretty simple as possible. I don't like to overdo it and get too Martha Stewart-y on this, so you can inject it, you can do however you want it. You could do rubs, spices, whatever you want to do to it. You don't have to do anything. But when I do it, I more or less just prefer, it don't have to be Nature's Basket. I happen to get this one on sale. But I like the stone ground mustard. It's just excellent. It leaves an excellent crust. Just wonderful. And so I just like to give it the old 1-2. and just kind of slather it all over. Like so. I did forget one of my ingredients. Give me 1 second. Most important, always wash your hands. Okay. So I like to get a little of that stone ground mustard on there first. Then I just get some cheap, I don't know, Aldi's, Berman's mustard, regular. And I'll put a ton of that on here. Now, I'll give it a nice slather. Hence, do not forget I did put some stone ground mustard on there first. That's part of the process of me doing this. I like it like this. You can do it your own way. But I kind of like to give it that nice little lather. Almost done here, folks. Almost done. Apologize, I didn't have my mustard ready. Just drank more coffee. I can assure you this is a delicious recipe, though. One for the ages. Okay. So now, what I'm gonna do, squirt some more of that on there. A lot of it. Okay. And then I'll put some more stone ground mustard on there. Get her done. Looking good. Yes, sir. A little on the cupboard. It's okay. Get this ready. I'm gonna put that on after. All right. And I'll give this a very wonderful slather here. Very delicate here now. Fill all the creases and crevices. Nice stone ground mustard. Haste makes waste. Use what you have. It gives it a beautiful crust. I mean, it's wonderful. Absolutely. Just very good. Now I have some sweet Spanish paprika. This stuff's really good. Since I'm using the rest of the jar, I'll use my filthy hands. Just kind of pat some of that on here a little bit. This is how I do mine. Everybody does it different. Some people would put the paprika on first. I have good reasons for doing it like this. This comes out different. And I do very much enjoy the cook of it. Very nice. And now, there's a big pork butt here, buddy. Very nice. Very nice. Put a little on the bottom here too. A little sprinklage. Yeah. Very good. Just a little on the fatty side. Now, you can cook this however you like. I mean, you can cook this fat side up, fat side down. It all depends. I've done it both ways. Came out good both ways. I did find, though, when you cook fat side down, that the fat itself, as it hits the coals, it adds flavor to the meat. It's fantastic that way. I mean, just can't go wrong. I'm just going to use what's left here. Perfect. Boy, I had just enough. Now the crust on this is going to be just, I mean, it's going to be really good. It's very good. And I like to kind of pat my meat here, more or less. I don't. Okay. And that should be enough stuff there. Okay. Now I generally baste this about every 2 hours. Sometimes, usually about every 2 hours, every 2.5 hours. It seems to work best. You don't want to open your smoker very often. I apologize for all this in-between nonsense because I'm not sure totally how to edit all this out just yet. Why I didn't use my towel before? I don't know, I should have been. Anyway, I have got some apple wood chips and I have got some pecan wood chips, which I mix together here. I soak them in water overnight, you know, to get everything going. And that's what I smoke mine with. Now this typical pork butt right here, this, for me it'll probably take about 10 hours roughly. Depends, give or take. And then when it's all said and done, I usually wrap it in tin foil and leave it in a cooler for about 4 hours. And then what I'll do is, you know, put it down in the crock pot, shred it up. I don't like to over barbecue it because I kind of just like what was done with it, more or less. Just a little sauce. You don't have to overdo it like that store-bought garbage. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Back at you next time with something else. Thank you. Oh, here you go. Hasta la taco.